for your interest in the Craniofacial Surgery Fellowship at Seattle Children's Hospital and the University of Washington. We hope this short video will help you get to know us a little bit more and give you some information on the program. I'm Richard Hopper. I did my plastic surgery training at the University of Toronto in Canada, and in 2000 I went down to study craniofacial surgery under Joseph McCarthy. In 2001 I came to join Joseph Gruss in practice in Seattle and have been here ever since. Over the past years, my practice has evolved, and even though I still do primary surgeries such as craniosynostosis, I also spend a lot of my time doing secondary surgeries for my cleft lip and palate and other patients. I also have a specialized clinical practice in subcranial osteotomies using distraction osteogenesis to treat severe airway obstruction. Now here's our fellowship program director, Dr. Craig Bergfeld.
Hi, my name is Craig Bergfeld and I'm one of the craniofacial surgeons here at Seattle Children's, the University of Washington. I came here to Seattle to do the fellowship back in 2006, and things have changed since then. Fellowship has definitely changed, but the reason that I came here was that when I looked around the country, this was a place that offered the biggest volume of craniofacial cases, the kind of things that I wanted to do, as well as the kind of lifestyle outside of the hospital and operating room that I enjoy.
Brandon Say, one of the plastic surgeons here. Welcome to Seattle. Briefly on who I am, I'm Canadian. I'm from Ottawa originally, and went to school at Queen's in Toronto, then at Western Ontario as a resident, and then ended up going down to Stanford to do a hand fellowship, and then back up to Toronto to do pediatric plastic surgery. So I'm not a true craniofacial surgeon, I'm a pediatric plastic surgeon, if you will. My practice is focused on two big areas. One is cleft, and so that's where I really come into play in the craniofacial fellowship. The other area of practice is brachial plexus palsies, congenital hand, and upper extremity, which is a little bit outside of craniofacial, but for some people, it's a nice escape. It's another area that they can engage in, and we've had a few fellows who have ended up going on to doing a lot of congenital hand at their respective institutions. So if you're interested in that world, there is that other side that's available.
Hi, my name is Sinu Sisarla, and I'm one of the craniofacial surgeons at Seattle Children's Hospital. I'm trained in both oral and maxillofacial surgery as well as plastic and reconstructive surgery. I did my oral and maxillofacial surgery training at Massachusetts General Hospital and my plastic surgery training at the Johns Hopkins Hospital. In 2016, I was fortunate to come here as a craniofacial fellow and even more fortunate to stay on as staff thereafter. My clinical practice is divided between Seattle Children's Hospital and Harborview Medical Center. At Seattle Children's Hospital, my practice is related to management of craniosynostosis, cleft lip and palate, and orthognathic surgery, as well as pediatric maxillofacial pathology. At Harborview Medical Center, my clinical practice is related to management of primary and secondary facial deformities related to trauma.
Hi, my name is Russell Ettinger, and I'm one of the craniofacial surgeons here at Seattle Children's and the University of Washington. I'm a native of the Pacific Northwest and completed my undergraduate medical training here in Seattle before going to the University of Michigan to complete my plastic surgery training. Following that, I returned to Seattle for the Craniofacial Fellowship in 2018 and 2019 and joined the staff thereafter. My practice is split between Seattle Children's and Harborview Medical Center. On the Seattle Children's side, I treat patients with cleft lip and palate, orthognathic surgery, and pediatric and adolescent gender affirmation surgery. On the adult side, my practice consists of adult craniofacial trauma, craniofacial elective surgery, secondary burn reconstruction of the head and neck, as well as adult gender affirmation surgery.
Hi, I'm Shane Morrison, and I'm one of the members of the plastic surgery team here at Seattle Children's. I'm from Tucson, Arizona. I did my medical school at Stanford and then my residency training in plastic surgery at the University of Washington, followed by a fellowship specifically focused in gender affirmation surgery at the University of Michigan and at the University of Ghent in Belgium. My practice here at Seattle Children's focuses on general reconstruction and also specifically on gender affirmation surgery, and that includes surgery of the chest and genital region.
My name's Mark Egbert. I am an oral and maxillofacial surgeon on the craniofacial team. I am 100% dedicated to Seattle Children's Hospital. I am part of the university department, an associate professor. You know, I've been that for a long time, but been here at Seattle Children's for 35 years. I have an extremely busy orthodontic practice, and as you might imagine, a significant percentage of those patients come from the cleft craniofacial team.
Hello, I'm Hitesh Kapadia. I'm a craniofacial orthodontist in the Craniofacial Center at Seattle Children's Hospital. I'm in a unique position in that I get to interface with you and the craniofacial surgeons in the management of children with craniofacial differences in cleft lip and palate. As with most complex conditions, the management of these children require a multidisciplinary approach, and we're fortunate in that our two areas tend to interact quite a bit.
Hi, my name is Bae Sittler. I'm a nurse practitioner in plastic and craniofacial surgery, and I'm one of 3 advanced practice providers, APPs, both PAs and NPs in our team, and it's so nice to have an opportunity to talk to you about the fellowship at Seattle Children's. First of all, I want to tell you a little bit about our role on the team. We have a really large, busy team, and the APPs work closely with the surgeons, fellows, residents to help take care of both inpatients and outpatients. We're typically on call for the inpatient service Monday through Friday while you are all in the OR and communicate frequently throughout the day as needed about patient issues and problems or successes. And then we also each have some independent clinics that we staff during the week.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth McCone, and I am the program coordinator for the Craniofacial Fellowship here at Seattle Children's. My interactions with the fellows are from beginning to end, starting with the application process, interviews, onboarding, and departure. For our international fellows, I help coordinate the visa application process along with my counterparts at UW Medicine. If you have school-age children, I can help connect you with our local school districts.
I think what brought me here was the amazing clinical volume in Seattle Children's and the University of Washington. We have a catchment area of almost 9 million people over the 5 states, and now we're starting to get quite a few patients from outside that region as well coming to Seattle for certain surgeries. But I think what really keeps me here is the incredible integration of the team. The different specialties work so well together. There's so much mutual respect. There's no bad blood. We share cases, we share experiences, and it's really that interdisciplinary integration that is one of the strengths of the fellowship, and something we really want our fellows to experience and try to mirror when they take their jobs after fellowship.
As far as the experience and training here at Seattle Children's, I can tell you, you will get plenty of experience doing cranial vault surgery. I think we do about as much of that kind of surgery as anywhere in the country, and that includes both single suture and complex congenital synostosis cases. You also get as much cleft lip and palate experience as you need. We have a busy cleft lip and palate team. You will definitely feel comfortable doing those cases by the time your fellowship is over. We also do a lot of facial trauma, and when I came here, I was actually sold that that would be all I was going to be doing was facial trauma, and actually it, I think, has become a real strength of our fellowship, in that if you ask the fellows that have graduated over the years, I think that most of them will say that's one of the best parts of the fellowship. And then each of us have our own kind of areas of interest that will give you additional exposure. I also do some facial reanimation and head and neck microsurgery. Dr. Hopper does complex distraction cases. Dr. J does some pediatric hand and brachial plexus. Dr. Susarla does, as I said, quite a bit of orthognathic surgery. And Dr. Edinger has an interest both in secondary trauma and burn reconstruction over at Harborview, as well as some gender confirming surgery. So While those are smaller parts of the fellowship, I think there are really nice ways for you to see different aspects of craniofacial surgery besides just the cranial vaults.
As I mentioned, my role in the fellowship is very much the cleft side of things. We are one of the biggest centers in North America, and so we get a lot of volume that comes through. Our approach to cleft care is fairly unique, and we have an approach that differs from a lot of centers, and I think when fellows come here and they spend some time, they kind of open their eyes and they realize how different some of the things that we do are, and that I think has a lot of value. We do have surgeons from varying backgrounds. I happen to be from the Toronto background. Rich Hopper comes from the New York, NYU background. Craig Bergfeld, the Philly background. And so I think if you come here, you do get to see a fair mix of practices that amalgamate and have a lot of commonalities, and then some aspects that are very different amongst surgeons. And I think being able to see those differences and seeing the commonalities, I think, is really special.
I've been fortunate in that we tend to get some really top-notch fellows, and it's important because we ask you to do a lot during the fellowship. You get your feet wet really quickly, and we need people who know what they're doing, come from a good, strong background surgically, because you're a big part of all the complex craniofacial cases that we do here.
In terms of the expectations for you during your fellowship year, we expect that you be treated and interact with the resident team as a fellow. So you're not expected to run the service. The residents here are excellent and more than capable of doing that. Your goal here is to provide guidance and support, as well as take the time to learn the breadth of craniofacial surgery and use the year to basically hone your skills, your clinical decision making, and your operative technique to become an attending craniofacial surgeon.
So if you come here as a fellow, I think there are probably 3 roles that you take on. The first is as a trainee, learning about craniofacial, cleft, and getting what you need to become a good surgeon down the road. The second is you become a bit of a teacher and a mentor. You work closely with the residents, and historically our fellows have been fantastic teachers, fantastic mentors to the residents, as well as friends, and ultimately that's the expectation that we have for our fellows. I think the third role is as a researcher, and I would say that it's as a clinical researcher. We do have a very strong clinical volume, and it follows along that we do a lot of clinically based research.
A number of years ago, we decided to start a 2-fellow model at Seattle Children's and University of Washington. This 2-fellow model is extremely important for the success of our graduates. It allows, number one, for you to work with another professional partner from another country so that you have that professional relationship for the rest of your careers. It also allows you to tag team for things like call and away time, so that you can not only embrace the fellowship but also your chance to explore the region. It's also very important to realize that what we call the national and the international fellow are equal in all respects as it relates to the education and to the access to surgical cases. There are no substantial differences between these 2 fellowships other than the national fellow has an unrestricted license to practice, whereas the international fellowship has an educational license. This does not interfere with any of the experiences, however, since during all of your surgeries you will be supervised by one of the attending surgeons, whether they're scrubbed in or in an adjacent room. The focus of the National Fellowship is to be able to train a fellow to be able to enter craniofacial practice in an academic environment in the continental United States. Our focus for the International Fellowship is to be able to train a candidate to return to their home country and to enter an academic practice in their home country. In this way, there is no competition between job searches or recommendations when our 2 fellows are looking for job opportunities.
In general, we have craniofacial clinic all day on Mondays, and that's with the entire craniofacial team. So we'll typically see anywhere from 100 to 180 or so patients a day throughout the clinic. So it's a busy day. On Tuesdays, we generally operate here at Children's. On Wednesdays, we have rounds with the entire division at Harborview, and then a Harborview clinic in the morning. However, we're doing a lot of surgery on Wednesdays as well. And then we also have rooms on Thursday and Friday at Harborview and at Children's. And the fellows have basically been switching between one kind of being assigned to Harborview for the week and the other being assigned more for Children's for the week, just so they can keep both services covered.
This is also an academic institution, so we encourage academic activities and provide all the resources that you need to be successful. Dr. Merkan, our computer scientist, has created a virtual lab that allows you to do research at any time in any place through a HIPAA-compliant link that allows detailed morphometric analysis. We also have a number of basic science labs down at the Research Institute downtown. It is challenging to build in basic science into the fellowship, but because of the two-fellow model, this is a possibility if you have prior experience. Finally, pretty much every one of our faculty is involved in clinical outcome research, whether it's the surgeons, the pediatricians, or our epidemiologists. Each one of these faculty would be happy to partner with you if you have any ideas or for you to join an established project.
Hi. My name is Ezgi Mercan. I'm a computer scientist at Seattle Children's Craniofacial Center. With Dr. Hopper, I run Craniofacial Image Analysis Lab. We have a group of volunteers, medical students, residents and fellows, and also craniofacial surgeons working on several image analysis projects. We have a remote virtual lab that is HIPAA compliant that allows people to work from anywhere with an internet connection. My research focuses on craniofacial syndromes and all sorts of diseases, specifically outcomes after the surgery.
One of the benefits of our fellowship program is that aside from a robust clinical experience, we have an extensive research experience to match. In conjunction with the Craniofacial Image Analysis Laboratory housed at Seattle Children's Hospital, we perform high-level and cutting-edge research on outcomes in craniomaxillofacial surgery. Over the past 3 years, we have had several dozen manuscripts that have been co-authored by residents and fellows, which is a testament to the dedication that our team has towards providing a robust research experience for our fellows.
You've probably heard that Seattle is a great place to live. It is, that's why we're all happy being here. It's really a city of neighborhoods. They're spread from east to west and north to south, each with its own flavor and its special restaurants and other events. Fellows have lived in all different neighborhoods, and we just ask them to talk with us so that they understand what their commute would be like, since some places are easier to get to the different hospitals than others. But it really is a full range of opportunities and a very pleasant place to spend a year.
Seattle's a great place to live. There's lots to do outdoors. We have the mountains on one side, we have the sea on the other side, and we live in a city that's on a massive lake and surrounded by a bunch of smaller lakes.
We like to work hard, but we all enjoy getting out into the outdoors and what the Pacific Northwest has to offer. That's one of the great things about being here, training here for sure, but even living here, is that I can be on the lake in 10 minutes, I can be in the mountains skiing in 45 minutes.
One of the benefits of living in Seattle is you get all the upside of a major metropolitan city, whether that be restaurants, bars, cultural activities, professional and collegiate sports, all while being surrounded by the beauty of nature, whether that's Mount Rainier, Lake Washington, or Puget Sound. Nature is right at your doorstep as soon as you walk out of your home.
What intrigues me about living in the Pacific Northwest is the different kind of culture and vibes of the different communities within Seattle, and they allow you to explore a variety of things in cultures and art.
Seattle is a great place to live. There's a wide variety of activities that you can pursue on the nights and weekends, whether you're into city living or the quieter lifestyle that accompanies living in the suburbs, as well as a number of activities from skiing to going to the beach and everything in between. My wife and I, when we moved here, we had 2 small children, and Seattle has been a great place for us to raise our 2 children. We encourage you to come visit and know that you'll feel the same.
So hopefully you'll consider our fellowship. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and we'll be available if there are questions in the future.